today's two games. I just want to take you back 15, 20 minutes, whatever it is, to the start of the show, where I showed you the straw that I was figuratively using to explain India's chances of getting through to the semi-final. It was a perfectly good straw. They had a perfectly good chance, obviously depending on results to do with New Zealand and Afghanistan. We have a very mischievous panel. I'm not going to name names, I'm not going to blame anyone, but I don't know if you can see this. Can you see this? Someone's tampered with their straw. Now, I don't know whether this is a forecast of India's chances, or whether we're going to have to get a very expensive other straw from the Serena Hotel to try and continue to make our points over the next 2 or 3 days. But thank you for that.
You'll be fined, you know.
No, I'll pick it up later. Don't worry. I promised to pick it up later, but it just wasn't looking its best. Okay, let's have a look at Scotland today then. They were put into bat by India, which is obviously the tactic that India were going to use. They wanted to see what Scotland could do. As it turns out, it wasn't much. They were put under immense pressure straight away by the Indian bowling. And if we have a quick look at the card there, which is beautifully on schedule, you can see that there was a bit of a struggle all the way through. There were a couple of performances from actually the usual suspects. Munsey and Leask have been the guys who've been in the runs more than most in this Scottish performance over the last couple of weeks. And a 24 and a 21 again. There's some shots in there which showed a bit of class, a bit of resilience, but I'm afraid 85 from best part of 18 overs was never really going to be competitive. But it was all due to the pressure that they were put under. And we can use one example. We can show you one of those guys. George Munsey opening the innings, who has been there all the way through this tournament and has played some useful knocks. I mean, just look at that. Shots like that. That's, if nothing else, he will take that video home and say, this is what I did against India. And he'll scrub the result.
Beautiful shot.
He'll take all the other figures out. He'll say, look, this is what I did against India.
Wow.
Viv, you're speechless. What's going on?
I am, because I have to be speechless. When you get bowled for 85 and you play a few good shots like that, I don't know what you want to take home, or you would like to take home.
Okay, right, okay. What we'd like to take home, whoever we are, is a performance, both personal and collectively, which wins you games.
That's right.
But we know, I don't want to give any secrets away, we know that Scotland lost today.
That's right.
But these guys, they're amateur cricketers. They're playing against one of the best sides in the world, or a side that thinks it's the best side in the world anyway.
Okay.
And they are just those little moments.
Okay.
Like
well, but it depends who you are, really.
Like you on the golf course, Viv. Let's forget the cricket. You on the golf course.
Oh my God! I thought you didn't
No.
know about golf.
I know you love. I know you love
Yeah,
your
go
golf.
ahead.
I understand golf. I hate playing it, but I understand
Go
golf.
for it. Go for it.
And so, okay, I can put my experience. If I have, and it's been years since I tried this, but I have one good hole, I think I'll remember that, and I can forget 17 other holes. I can forget losing the game. All I'm saying is, for these guys, those little moments, you're hitting Bumrah over square leg for 6, is something that stays there forever.
Well, if you, it depends on where you, what you fancy, and your belief, and if that's what you believe in, nothing's wrong with that. If you want to take that home, it's nice to know that you can play a good shot off of a world-class bowler, but at the end of the day, I'm looking at the team factor. You need lots more of that. That one, and as we see, they were totally outclassed. One can never forget that. And when you play 1 or 2 shots, we speak about maybe the individuals who are trying to match the bigger teams. That's not enough to get it done. So 1 or 2 shots, whoever, it depends on how they think and the things that they would like to take home. They may feel good about it. But if I'm going to play a game of golf, I'm looking to make sure that I play 18 holes as well as I can.
Okay, well, that's what they've done. They've tried to play as best they can. If you played against, pick your favourite golfer.
Tiger Woods.
Tiger Woods. If you played against Tiger Woods at his best, what would you take home when you were beaten 9 and 8 and by several holes? The technical term, 9 and 8. What would you take home? What would you take home?
Let me tell you the personal thing I'll take home, rather than playing, just to be there with the guy.
That's what they've done. That's exactly what Scotland has done.
Okay.
I rest my case.
Okay.
You can stand down. Sir Vivian, you can stand down. I rest my case.
I like his approach against spin.
Yeah.
At one point, Chakravarti had no idea where to bowl. So I think at least he actually gave some ideas to the minnows or like associate countries. Next time when you come to this stage, you should be equipped with 1 or 2 special shots. Normal cricket, I mean, the amount of professional that these top teams are. If you want to match up, then you have to do something else. Your practice routines, your environment, your conditions where you practice, and more competitive cricket. If you continue playing, the only chance you will come up and give them a tough time.
Even against Ashwin, I mean, Ashwin went for just 15 runs in 4 overs against Afghanistan, and today his economy was 7.20, and they were playing those reverse sweeps and disturbing him. I mean, of course, from their point of view, he would have had a much better performance if it was a 70, but at least he was able to give some kind of a start to in the power play. So, I mean, yeah, Manzi has not been able to play those big innings. मसला ये कि talent तो नजर आया, potential नजर आया, पर बड़ी इनिंग नहीं.
छोटी टीम के खिलाफ, मिनोज के खिलाफ ये अच्छा स्कोर करते हैं. मैं नाम लेता हूँ यहाँ पे, अगर इनके है स्टीफन बर्ड ने ओपन की या एरस्मस थे, ये लॉन्ग इनिंग नहीं खेलते अगेंस्ट टेस्ट प्लेइंग नेशन या बड़ी जो टीम है उनके खिलाफ. मैं बात करता हूँ जाजाई की, बात करें शहजाद की, गुरबाज की, पूरे इवेंट में देख लिया, ये 2-3 छक्के अच्छे मारेंगे, उसके बाद ये पूरी इनिंग को लेके नहीं चलते. ये इश्यूज हैं. और आज की अगर हम बैटिंग को अगर देख लेते हैं, कोर्जे को देख लें या मंजी को देख लें, शॉर्ट इनिंग होंगी इनकी, लेकिन ब्यूटीफुल इनिंग होंगी. 2 छक्के मारे, 2 चौके मारे, लेकिन उसके बाद आउट होके चले गए. ये इश्यूज हैं मिनोज के साथ, एसोसिएट के साथ. ये लोग अगर ये लेके चलने लगे, अपनी इनिंग को बिल्ड करना अगर सीख गए, तो ये बहुत अच्छी टीम हो सकती है. इनकी जो ये खेलते हैं 130 की मैक्सिमम स्पीड, स्लो स्पिन, लो स्पिन पे खेलते हैं. अगर फिर आप अश्विन को खेलेंगे, जडेजा को खेलेंगे, जहाँ पे ग्रिप होने लगेगी, वहाँ आपको प्रॉब्लम्स होंगी. जडेजा इनके साथ खेल, ये जडेजा को नहीं खेल रहे थे, जडेजा आज इनके साथ खेल रहा था. उसको थोड़ी ग्रिप मिली, उसने आराम से वेरी की अपनी बॉल को, उसने तेज की, लेग बिफोर बैकफुट पे ले गया, पहले आगे से आउट किया उसने. तो इनके साथ यही इशू है. जब भी सुबह के सेगमेंट में, दोपहर के सेगमेंट में ये कहा था कि इनको अपने एफटीपी तैयार करना चाहिए, मुश्किल मैचेस खेलने चाहिए. ये क्या है, अब जाके सिर्फ स्कॉटलैंड में ही खेलेंगे, इनको जाना चाहिए, दूसरे कंट्रीज में जाके खेलें. और ये इनके जो इश्यूज हैं वो नज़र आ रहे हैं. टॉप ऑर्डर 3 अगेंस्ट टॉप कंट्रीज, ये इतने अच्छे नहीं हैं. टॉप 3 को बहुत अच्छा होना पड़ता है. नीचे आके फिर वही रन 30-35 रन नीचे आके 5, 6, 7 नंबर वाले करके ये 150 करते हैं, ये समझ रहे हैं अचीव हो गया, लेकिन दूसरी टीम आके आराम से चेस कर लेती है.
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल सही कह रहे हैं.
उसमें यही है ना कि आप लोगों का जिस तरह ये जो राशिद भाई बात कर रहे हैं ना कि 2-3 शॉट खेल के फिर उसके बाद आउट हो जाते. आप इनके देखें ना, जो डोमेस्टिक जो स्ट्रक्चर है या जो उनका सिस्टम है, वहाँ पे एक तो इन लोगों को इतने वो रन्स करने की आदत नहीं होती. अगर आप अदर साइड देखें, जो अच्छी टीम है, जो बड़ी टीम्स है, लेट सपोज मैं आपको बाबर की मिसाल देता हूँ कि बाबर जब एक दफ़ा वो सेट हो जाता है, 20-25 रन कर लेते हैं, तो वो उसको कन्वर्ट करता है 50-60 में, फिर 60-70 को कन्वर्ट करता है 100 में. तो एक तो अपॉर्चुनिटी की बात है, दूसरे आपके सिस्टम में, क्योंकि ये लोग खेलते हैं एक दूसरे के अगेंस्ट. तो वहाँ पे मेनली ये लोग कहते हैं T20 खेलते हैं, या हार्डली कोई बहुत कम मैचेस खेलते हैं वनडेज के, जो कि इनके एक्सपोजर इतने ही है कि वो आप 25-30 कर लेते हैं मिनस टीमों के अगेंस्ट. लेकिन जब बड़ी टीम आ जाती है तो आपको प्रॉब्लम होती है, आप अपने 15-20 को कन्वर्ट नहीं कर सकते उसमें. बहुत
अच्छा पॉइंट है, क्योंकि ये जब लिमिटेड ओवर्स में प्लेयर्स बनते हैं तो उनको क्रीज पे खड़ा होना नहीं
जो नजर आ. जैसे अभी बात की, बाबर की बात की, रिजवान की, इन्होंने किनको रिप्लेस किया है? शर्जील और फखर को किया है इन्होंने. देखिए वो T20 के किंग है इस वक्त, तो क्या रिप्लेस उन्होंने किया? तो एक के ऊपर एक. इंग्लैंड के खिलाफ भी, इंग्लैंड में बहुत सारे प्लेयर्स हैं, इंडिया के खिलाफ के पास बहुत सारे प्लेयर्स हैं. इन मिनोज के पास बैकअप नहीं है. तो जिस कंट्री में जी कंपटीशन नहीं है, बैकअप होगा. ये अगले 2 साल बाद देखेंगे यही टीम आ रही होगी 2-3 चेंज करके. इनको अपना बैकअप तैयार करना पड़ेगा, जिस तरह पाकिस्तान या इंडिया, ऑस्ट्रेलिया, इंग्लैंड, इनके पास बहुत सारी लाइन है, बैकअप प्लेयर्स हैं. तो मिनोज के पास बैकअप नहीं है, जिसकी वजह से इनको ये इश्यूज आ रहे हैं.
So one of the biggest problem is that they do not have backup players or more competition for them to push themselves even further. Another point that Umar brought was really good, that these teams have developed playing T20 and maximum one-day cricket. So for them to score a big innings like a 70-80, that's not registered in their minds too much, because all they have prepared is mostly for T20 cricket.
Yeah, I suppose the argument there is, this is a T20 competition, so that they do have. I was going to point out, for instance, Callum MacLeod in the middle order, who's had a quiet competition here in UAE. He's the guy who made that 140 against England a couple of years ago at the Grange in Edinburgh, in a game that all Scots remember as one of the great days of their cricket, because they beat England in a high-scoring game. And it was fabulous to watch, I have to say, and that was brilliant for Scotland, because they beat the neighbour, they beat the arch-rival, and we have this sort of, I understand rivalries, national rivalries, and England, Scotland, don't mention independence. That's quite good too. So for Scotland that day, it was a big day for them. And okay, we understand they haven't had that sort of day today by any stretch of the imagination. The bowling, India's bowling. Let's have a look at that as well. A couple of threefers. Ravi Jadeja was the one we were talking about a little while ago, who picked up his few wickets. We took the point that it was on the back of some good opening bowling. And it opened up the doors, it pushed it, but it's just sort of kind of, that one actually, I suppose for him was slightly unusual. It was sort of the left armer's dream, sort of pitching on middle, hitting middle.
The first one looped, turning away, and then the next one, arm ball.
Yeah.
So they have no idea on this pitch, press forward or wait for it, because if you don't know what's coming in from the hand, it's going to be too late for them. The understanding what's coming, reading the fingers, I think that's missing. They haven't seen it, they're not used to it.
Well, I mean, and the other one, of course, the sweep shot. I mean, this is one of the things we've seen, I don't know how many times now, countless times, people trying to get out of jail, as it were, by playing the sweep shot.
That's normally when you're not reading or picking.
Yeah.
That's the first thing you do. You bring the broom out and you go like that. And we saw Ravi is not really one of these individuals that, as you say, is tricky, leg breaks and googlies, but pretty straight on. And that, to me, something like that you can do whatever. But when you bowl at that particular pace, it's going to be tough at the yard. It's going to be tough. Yeah, it's going to be tough.
Now, Sir Viv, as one of the finest batsmen ever.
Wow, that's true.
It is true. It is true. We have to admit these things to you.
Oh my God.
What is the secret of the sweep shot?
That's when you don't know what's happening.
No, but,
for some reason.
Right.
For me, when I'm looking to
the secret. I'm looking for a batting tip here. In other words, how do you play it well?
How do you play it well? Well, I wasn't a sweeper. You may have to ask someone else.
Okay.
Umar.
let me turn to the expert sweepers.
He never needed to play a sweep shot. That's why he was the best.
No, well, actually, no, it's a fair point, because you like to go down the ground.
Yeah, I was never a guy who took that chance to do that, because I've always felt that when you're looking to sweep, you're going to take the eyes off the ball at some point. And I like to maybe keep whatever in front of me. We all have our own styles,
Yeah, okay, go for it. So, the sweep shot is a shot of desperation when you don't know what's going on.
It was one of my favorite shots because of the reason I couldn't hit as straight as Sir Vivian.
Yeah, I think the question is directed to the right person, because you said to me that you didn't do that. You like to sweep, so we'd love to hear those answers.
Yeah, I mean, for the sweep shot, of course, your head needs to be low.
Rashid was good at it.
Yeah, and
इसमें बहुत आसान इजी तरीका है. इसमें जब शोल्डर होता है ना, वो बाहर होने चाहिए. लाइक जावेद मियां था, सर विव रिचर्ड, मार्टिन क्रो, इनका ना क्लोज नहीं होगा. जब क्लोज हो जाते हैं, सेंटर की बॉल आपकी पैच पे लगेगी. जब ओपन होके सामने हो जाएंगे तो आपको सेंटर की बॉल ना आप आराम से ऑन पे खेल सकते हैं, क्योंकि आपकी विजन बहुत क्लोज है. और जब आप जाते हैं मारने के लिए, पाँव के ऊपर है, 3 स्वीप शॉट है, एक स्क्वायर लेग, एक 45 और एक नीचे पैडल शॉट 3 है. और स्लॉग स्वीप भी होती है जो मिड विकेट पे जाती है, डीप मिड विकेट पे. तो वो आप चलाते हैं बॉलर को, तंग कर रहा है बॉलर, उसको आप स्वीप करते हैं. इसमें यूनुस खान आप कह सकते हो टेस्ट क्रिकेट में या वनडे क्रिकेट में जो बेस्ट देखा गया है, जो कि संगाकारा भी बोलता है कि, या एबी डिविलियर्स भी बोलते हैं कि सरफराज भी. तो क्या है कि ये यहाँ से आपको ये शोल्डर बाहर होना चाहिए. जहाँ पे ये शोल्डर अंदर हुआ तो आप लॉक हो जाते हैं उसमें. ये बात मार्टिन क्रो ने अपनी आखिरी जो बुक्स होती हैं उसमें लिखा है कि बेस्ट जो स्वीपर्स थे या जिनका विजन अच्छा था, सर की बात की उन्होंने, सुनील गावस्कर साहब की बात की, जावेद मियां की बात की।
आई होप आप सब सुन रहे हैं और ज़रूर इस पे काम करेंगे जो क्रिकेट खेल रहे हैं। बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट फैक्टर है आजकल, स्वीप शॉट बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, रिवर्स स्वीप्स बड़े इंपॉर्टेंट है मॉडर्न क्रिकेट में। साथ साथ हम अब इंडिया की बॉलिंग पे भी जाते हैं मजीद। जडेजा की बात हमने कर ली, मोहम्मद शामी उन्होंने भी आज 3 विकेट्स ली अप फ्रंट, एक मेडन ओवर भी कराया। उमर, आप क्या कहना चाहेंगे मोहम्मद शामी की इस परफॉर्मेंस पर?
नहीं, अगर आप मोहम्मद शामी को अगर आप देखें ना, जब ये रन अप के लिए आता है तो ये आप कहेंगे कि यार लाइक कैजुअल टाइप से वो दौड़ के आता है, लेकिन है बड़ा क्लेवर। बहुत आपने जो ना माइंड बड़ा ज़बरदस्त यूज़ कर दिया, बैट्समैन को बड़े जल्दी वो रीड कर लेता है। अगर आप देखें मंजे को ना, उसने अपने फील्डर को यूज़ किया और स्लो रन किया। और जो सबसे इसकी जो अच्छी बात है, जो हार्ड लेंथ इसकी ना बड़ी तगड़ी है, क्योंकि ये ओवर द ईयर इंडिया के लिए तीनों फॉर्मेट में बड़ा रेगुलर बॉलर और बड़ा ज़बरदस्त परफॉर्म कर रहे हैं उनके लिए। इसकी अगर हार्ड लेंथ देख के बड़ा ज़बरदस्त, वहाँ से जो बैट्समैन है ना बिल्कुल टक करके यहाँ पे बॉल लगता है, वो यॉर्कर इसका बड़ा ज़बरदस्त डेवलप किया है। और इसका जो ऑड वन जो बाउंसर करता है ना, सरप्राइज अमेजिंग, एक अच्छा वो है इंडिया के लिए, बड़ा ज़बरदस्त लगता। तो बिल्कुल कैजुअल सा लगता है, लेकिन इसके अगर ओवर द ईयर परफॉर्मेंसेस देखें तो इंडिया के लिए तीनों फॉर्मेट में बड़ा कंसिस्टेंटली परफॉर्म कर रहे हैं।
और ऑफ कोर्स मेंटली भी बड़े टफ होंगे, जिस तरह का क्रिटिसिज्म इनको सामना करना पड़ा इन द फर्स्ट, आफ्टर द फर्स्ट गेम ही वाज अंडर अ लॉट ऑफ अब्यूज एंड क्रिटिसिज्म, एंड देन Virat Kohli really supported him, and a lot of cricketers from India and across supported him, and then coming back with strong performances like these.
I think it took 3 or 4.
Three
wickets.
Against Afghanistan.
3 today for 15.
3 today, definitely.
Yeah, 3
again.
today, definitely.
Yeah.
It took 3 wickets against Afghanistan,
Yeah.
I think so. It took few. Rhythmic bowler, it doesn't look that quick, but he's bowls at 143. Skiddy type of bowler. He's got everything, got good yorker, can swing the ball, and hard length, especially that's key. Bringing in dot balls. Yeah, he's complete bowler.
I think he's a very underrated bowler.
Yeah.
You know, the things that you have gone through just recently in the past few days, I guess having his captain, Virat, and knowing the issues that you can have in India with the religions and all that sort of stuff, having his captain come out and support him 100%, I think that was great on Kohli's behalf.
Yeah, that was really great, and that's how it should be.
And to still see him playing and trusting him to come back and do well. That I think is
Aaqib,
good.
you're right. 3 4
Yeah.
32 against Afghanistan. So picking up wickets, but more expensive. I mean, today
It's good
3
for him after
Yeah.
a lot of criticism,
Yeah.
Yes.
back to back,
Yeah.
Performance.
good bowling.
And for instance, I mean, and just the one ball, that Yorker, okay, I know it was Alistair Evans who's down the order at number 10 somewhere, but that Yorker was a proper Yorker. It was a really, really good, quick
Yeah,
Yorker. And that's the thing he has. If he
You
nails
hardly
those.
see Yorkers swinging away a little bit. Mainly it's getting in, but this ball especially is slightly swing away from his pads. Because when something coming into your pad, you go there.
Yeah.
And slightly swinging away from you, you got no chance.
Right, so we're talking about the batting now.
Yes, please.
India's batting, I mean, their one aim when they batted was to make the runs quickly, just to get that net run rate climbing above the competition, above New Zealand and Afghanistan. They achieved that, and they achieved it actually in some quite good style. And the two guys at the top of the order again, who have now found their form, it seems, KL Rahul, Rohit Sharma, absolutely outstanding. Whatever the bowling, it was superlative hitting, 50 and 30 respectively. Kohli and Yadav at the end of it just had 10 seconds to finish off. We've almost got time to play the entire innings. But if we look at KL Rahul, he's now got his confidence back. He's playing shots like that. I mean, I just think that's just awesome. I mean, they're just beautifully played. And what we love, what people like me anyway love, is sort of the ease that the ball gets pushed to the boundary, and the ease that it flies over extra cover, the ease that it goes wherever it's going, like that. It's just a flick.
Oh, and the bats today, they have enormous help to shots like that. they did everything that was what was asked of them today because of the situation that they were probably obviously in. And they did their best. Oh, well tried. But just magnificent power, and it's great to see, regardless of who you support, just to see, regardless of whoever the bowling attack may be, to see just great shots being played, if you're a cricket fan.
Indeed, indeed.
And with this 50 has become the second, this is the second quickest 50 for India in T20 cricket after Yuvraj Singh in 12 deliveries. And I just want to confirm, who was that against?
Against England.
Oh, yeah.
Straw, where's the straw?
Yeah, give me that straw back.
We mentioned earlier Scotland as well. We did, so England have taken a beating every now and again. Yeah.
Let me see, I remember beating the West Indies in a one-day international once, probably, anyway. But anyway. Which, actually, that was what we were talking about earlier. I remember that day because it happened relatively infrequently. Oh, was that one as well, did we?
I think after
I was thinking of Brisbane.
Brisbane, okay.
Yeah, they smashed it all around the park, we did. Mikey came out, poof, over extra cover, thank you very much. He was crying at the end of it, was Mikey. Well,
Wow,
not really.
wow.
No, that
Okay, enough of these memories. We will stay focused on the World T20 that's currently going on. Right, we've done that game. I think we've discussed most of the salient points. We'll take a break. Be right back with you with
Game on.
Game on Hay.
Yeah.